All right. Hello, everybody. This is specifically geared to my church family at Canyon Bible Fellowship. And I tell you, I am really missing you guys. I know it won't be long before we're home. It's getting shorter every day. I know that's happened since the day I left. Sounds a little bit trite, but it's true. I think the reality of just how close we are to coming home is uh, is there. We're looking at just a little bit more than a month before our replacements are here on the ground, and then a few weeks after that before we're able to do our transition with them. So I just wanted to share a few things. I know you guys are meeting to in person for the first time, and that is just neat. I'm glad that uh, the time has come for everybody to finally gather together. I know that there will probably be some people who are not present just for a variety of reasons. And so I just wanted to share a few thoughts. I know that Al has asked everybody if they would like to share amongst yourselves. I figured I'd join in the festivities and just the joy of seeing everybody together on a Sunday morning again. I really wish I could be there with you. However, God and the United States Army say that that can't happen. Not yet, but the time is coming very soon when I'll be able to be there with you guys. So right now it's pretty hot. If you take a look at the weather forecast for Doha, Qatar, it's pretty hot. We're unlikely for the foreseeable future to have high temperatures lower than 100 degrees. So it's been really warm, particularly warm today. So I've made every effort to stay inside and enjoy the blessings of air conditioning. Uh, so that's one of the things I'm thankful for while we're here is that we do have access to some decent air conditioning. At times it's so cold I actually have to turn it off just so I warm up a little bit and make sure it's not as much of a shock when I walk outside. So anyway, so things are going well. We're counting down the days, the weeks, and we're eager to get out of here. So I was just trying to think of what I would share if I was there about some of the things that I've learned during this time apart. Now, for me, I think the lessons that I've learned have really started back months ago when I first arrived here in Qatar. So you guys are just going to be meeting together for the first time after a couple of months apart. And for me, it's going to be effectively pretty close to a year away from you guys before I'm finally able to be there with you. But as I was thinking about it, one of the things that I'm really thankful for is the blessing of technology. It gives me the chance from time to time to video chat with Karen or my parents, or I know that at least once I've had a chance to do some video chatting with you guys at the church with Karen's phone. And so just the technology, being able to communicate so rapidly and in a video format, to be able to record videos like this and post them so that you can hear my thoughts and I can communicate with you is something that is just an amazing thing that God has blessed us with. But one of the things that I've discovered in the midst of all of this is that as great as technology is, it can never replace the joy of being physically in one another's presence. I know this is particularly the case for me with Karen, but also for everybody there. Uh, Technology cannot replace just the joy of knowing that I'm with people that I care so much about, people that I love, people that I know care about me, and people that I know together we share this love for God. And it's the love that God has poured out in our hearts that we are able to pour out into one another's hearts. And so I was thinking about just gathering together And we're reminded in Hebrews chapter 10, beginning in verse 23, the writer of Hebrews says, "Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. Let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, not forsaking our own assembly together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see that day drawing near." You get a chance after 2 months away to assemble together, to encourage one another, to draw near to God together. And I pray that the joy, the precious blessing that it is to be around one another, to worship God together, to encourage one another, I pray that you would never miss that what has been taken away for a time, as it's coming back now, that it would be something that you would cherish. That if you have any issues with one another, that you would realize that the joy of fellowship with one another is greater than anything that would cause us to, that it, greater than anything that would separate us, anything that would divide us. And if in fact the love of God has been poured out into our hearts, then we have every incentive to pour that same love out into one another's hearts. That the things that have divided us are not are not permanent. That if God so loved us, when we've offended God infinitely more, then we can love one another. If we have offended somebody, or if somebody has offended us, if there's an obstacle between us, let me encourage you to seek that reconciliation, so that we might have a unity in the Spirit based in the love that God has poured out into our hearts, so that we might consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds. We have a great opportunity in the midst of hardship to love people in ways that we've never done before. So as you listen to one another's stories of what God has done in the last couple of months that you guys have been apart, listen for ways that you can encourage one another. If somebody's gone through some hardship in the last couple of months, consider how you can encourage them. If they're struggling in a certain area, consider how you can build them up. Consider how to stir one another on to love and good deeds. And remember, we have a common confession, as the writer of Hebrews says, let us hold fast to the confession of our hope without wavering. We've gone through a bit of a difficult time, and some have felt the burden of loneliness. Some have felt the burden of a missing paycheck. We know that Jake and Shannon are dealing with the burden of having little ones that are still in the hospital. And I pray that God would continue to strengthen their little bodies so that they might grow, they might be able to leave the hospital healthy and ready for a life that God has for them. And I know Anna Orr has been dealing with some cancer issues. And in the midst of all of these difficulties, in the midst of hardship, the one thing that we have that's constant is a God who never leaves us or forsakes us, a God who is sovereign. He knew this was coming, and he knows what lies beyond this. So the great benefit of being physically present with one another is that we know that we are part of a family, that we are connected beyond ways that are digital. We are connected by the blood of Jesus Christ. And even being physically in the same room with those that we know care for us and love the Lord and love us with the love of the Lord is something that words can never put in, that we can never put into words, and something that technology can never replace. So here I am using technology to communicate this to you, but I eagerly look forward to the day when I can be present and I can share in one another's presence, in the presence of everybody there, just what God has done here. But the lesson for me has been that as great as technology is, it can never replace the importance and the joy of being physically together with everybody. So that's what I'm looking forward to for me personally here in a few months. And I pray that that's a lesson that everybody will uh, will take away from that as well, with all of the other lessons and blessings and things that God has taught you. So God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in just a few months.